This is FineGolf's 5th year, and I've been through a wonderful learning process. I'm just an amateur golfer. It started out as an updating of Frank Pennick's Golfer's Companion, which was published in 1962, which I picked up and started playing the courses in his book and realized he knew where all the best and most enjoyable courses were. And it took me 40 years, but eventually I played all 128 of them in the book. And so this Fine Golf basically started out as an updating of the Golfer's Companion. Above all, in the 5 years, I've discovered I'm not the first to campaign for the running game in contrast to target golf, because that's basically what Fine Golf's about. Lots of people have been kind enough to give their support and advice, and before I introduce this unique combination of experts to talk about how the recreational running game might be improved, let me put today briefly in some historical context. I could quote any number of golfers over the last 30 years who have bemoaned what some call the Americanization of golf. But we're not here to moan, but rather be excited by the modern retro trend back towards the fine running game. I discovered some understanding of why the running game gives so much more enjoyment than target golf from Jim Arthur's brilliant practical greenkeeping. That book, the Bible of the running game, the Bible for the greenkeepers. But more recently, 3 other books that I must mention to you. Fine Golf could well be called Real Golf. That book. This book is a compilation of articles published in Golf Monthly in the 1980s, written by Nick Park and his father, Eddie, both chairman of Green at Lindrick. These erudite articles on greens maintenance and the history of how the game's ruling bodies have failed to control the golf ball's power are legendary. Wonderful book. Fine Golf could also well be called Natural Golf. This book, The Natural Course for Golf, is a compilation of articles organized by Malcolm Peake, who used to be chairman of Green here at Temple and who's been showing off the greens tester outside today, who asked a number of experts and celebrities to write chapters, including Alistair Beggs, who's here, Donald Steele, Martin Gunn, who are all with us today, as well as loads of other very interesting people. Jim Arthur actually had a chapter in it just before he died, didn't he? I'm not sure if Fine Golf can be called the future of golf, that book, but this 3rd book I would highly recommend, published in 2005, is the American Jeff Shackelford's Future of Golf, and on how golf lost its way and how to get it back. It summarizes so much of what Fine Golf stands for in an American context. Great book. Fine Golf is tiny in comparison with these works, but at least it's brought you all here together, and I hope that you enjoyed playing the Temple course. I certainly did, and although I only played 12 holes, I must say, gosh, to read the greens was quite fun. It was Keith Adderley, the secretary here at Temple, who suggested I organise a Fine Golf Day and offered Temple as the venue. And some of you may be aware of Nick Pearce of Golfing Traditions. He's based at Westward Ho, Royal North Devon, and he offered to make up a commissioned print to commemorate the day And it gives me much pleasure to ask Keith to accept this gift as thanks on behalf of us all as Temple as our host. I've tried to push something that's on the website, a page on it, it's called Frequently Asked Questions, to get greenkeepers and their secretaries, with their secretaries' help, and maybe the chairman of Green as well, to actually have a page on the website called Frequently Asked Questions. One of the best ones is Royal Ashdown Forest. Chris Mitchell there has written, he's doing lots of things. He's taking trees out, he's helping the heather come back in, he's changing the greens, doing lots of change on the golf course, which is difficult for change for some of the old members. So they need to be told what is going on. Not just that, oh, we're going to hold time next month. They need to have a vision of where the golf course is trying to go to. And the best person to do it is the greenkeeper and the secretary together, to actually say, this is where we're trying to go to. This is our strategy over a period, and this is the tactics of how we're trying to go about doing it. And it's and it saves secretaries time, because you get, every club has chuntering members complaining, and he chunters into the secretary and says, why is that tree being taken out? And the secretary says, well, actually, if you go onto the FAQ page, I think it's question 6, and it talks about why, not that specific tree, but it'll talk about the concept of why trees need to be taken out. And go and have a read of that, and then come back if you've got another complaint. And it's a way of saving the secretary time. It's a way of communicating what policies, long-term policies, a course needs to do and how it's going over. And there is, there's a few courses actually picking up on having FAQ pages. And I think it's one way of, you've got to communicate with the membership. You've got to get the membership with you. Because I knew nothing about this stuff 5 years ago. I was an amateur golfer, and I just sort of wanted to update the book. And I've learned so much, and David has been enormously helpful, as lots of other people have. It's communication. It's the greenkeepers. I go around lots of different courses, and I meet secretaries, I meet greenkeepers. I try to meet both of them whenever I go to a golf course. And the old greenkeeper, he doesn't want to communicate. He's out there. It's a practical, hands-on job. That's where he sees himself. But today, it's not right. They have to learn how to communicate. And we had Martin this morning really letting us know about where his vision was, where they did things. And that's, where we want greenkeepers to get to. And the GTC are helping in that direction.